Good morning, everybody. And I just realized I didn't pull up your bio, but I'm just going to tell everyone here who my friend Brandon is. Brandon Bornancin. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, it's close enough. Bornancin, you got it.
Bornancin. I always forget the "an" in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not alone.
I'm thinking about changing my last name to Born. Brandon Born.
There you go. Like Jason.
Like switch it up, like Brad Pitt or Elon Musk. Brandon Born.
Yeah, Born. Yeah, but you'd be like Jason Bourne's younger.
I know, and then like I have
brother.
the conflict, so I'm like, damn it, I can't. I'm not like some fighter, Secret Service guy, badass, so I can't.
Well, but are you? I mean, are you real?
I know, and maybe
like
I'm
CIA
Brandon
operative.
Born. Maybe I'm Brandon Born, but I changed it to Bornancin so that you don't even know what's going on.
I think that's what's going on right here. So besides being a super elite spy, Brandon also is the founder, CEO of Seamless, which is a really, really, really cool piece of software, which we're going to talk about later. Brandon's like, if you want to see how to do LinkedIn right, as far as being a leader in a company and engaging with your audience, just follow Brandon on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, just click on his name right now. Go ahead and follow him right now. For everybody else, we'll put his LinkedIn, exactly. We'll put his LinkedIn URL in the feed below. But okay, so we're here today to talk about what you know so well, because this is your second or third company.
This is my third company.
Third company.
Second, like my second successful company out of three. So 2 out of 3 so far, which is
that's pretty good considering what we're going through. And
yes, well, you just never know when you say like it's successful, like anything could change.
Yeah,
you know, and I've just
you're like knock on wood.
Productive paranoia. It's just you're always worried about it being gone tomorrow. So that's why I work so hard. So
yeah, exactly. But you've managed to build all these companies, and part of that's, of course, increasing sales revenue and maximizing business success. So was Seamless born from challenges you had in your previous company?
Yeah, well, you know, I was selling for IBM and Google. So like, okay, first company did 12 million when I was 18, 19, 20 years old for the gaming industry. But
that's awesome.
No, it sounds awesome. Like it is amazing. It's amazing. But then it was for the gambling industry, and then they made gambling illegal in the U.S. President Bush. I remember the U.S. Safe Port Act, 2007, and it shut down the industry. It'd be like it'd be like you guys are the LinkedIn gurus and experts, and it'd be like the government shutting down LinkedIn.
Sorry, can't use it anymore.
So that's what happened to gambling online in the US. So then I launched a second company, which was flip phones. They didn't have iPhones at the time, text message marketing. And that company lost $3 to $4 million over the course of 3 to 4 years. And it was the worst time of my life.
Oh, no.
And it failed because I didn't have the list and I didn't know how to sell B2B.
Yeah.
So then I quit entrepreneurship and I'm like, hey, I need to make a lot of money. I'm broke. I'm 100K in debt. I knew that sales is the next best thing to entrepreneurship. So, my partner ended up leaving in mobile, going to IBM to build AI products. And then he recruited me to sell for IBM. And we just knew like selling IBM was the biggest company at the time in the world. So it's like a way to connect with people. And then for IBM and then eventually for Google created Seamless to just automate all of the monotonous bullshit that would hold you back from pitching and closing deals.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. We're going to talk about Seamless in just a bit. But before we do, and because you've been so successful in sales, what would you say is the first thing that you need to know to be successful to increase your sales revenue as a salesperson?
Great question. By the way, hey, but thanks everyone for joining. We're super grateful. I'm super grateful. Stan, Alejandro, Andrea, Ryan, Deborah, you guys are amazing. John, Alicia, thank you so much for joining. You got a ton of people on this feed, Viveka. It's amazing. So the number one thing to be successful, I believe this is 75% of it.
Yeah.
It's your mindset. So my new book just came out yesterday, I believe. It was either yesterday or the day before. I don't even know what date it is anymore. Whatever it takes, master the habits to transform your business, relationships, and life. I wrote that book because, I believe that sales success is 50 to 75% of your mind, your habits, your belief systems.
100%.
And I wrote this book in March, the day after the governor shut down my state. I'm from Ohio. So he shut down the state. Danielle, my COO and fiance, and our team, we were up until 1 a.m. brainstorming how are we going to survive and thrive during the global pandemic. And I wrote out like all the habits, the beliefs, the mindsets. Like I had to have a 2-hour emergency call with our company. To tell them how bad it's going to be, how hard we're going to have to work to survive and thrive. So came out with this book, Whatever It Takes. And I believe that mastering your mind and the habits and the beliefs is at least, if not more than 50% of maximizing your sales.
Exactly. I mean, it's great if you know your product. It's great if you know your industry. Because like you said earlier, you didn't know how to sell to B2B. But if you're not, if you don't have the right mindset, and going off topic here a little bit, do you think, a lot of people get into sales for the money. Let's face it, because if you're good at it, you're going to make more sometimes than the CEO. So
100%. When I was selling for IBM and Google, when I was selling for Google, like there were like mini CEOs of different divisions. I was making more than that. They would get pissed. They're like, I'm making $500,000. He's making, over $1 million, and he's just a sales guy. It's amazing. It's the best career in the world.
It is the best career in the world, but I feel like so many people get into it for the wrong reasons. Not that money is the wrong reason, but I have a feeling that some people only are thinking of that. And that's a little bit of counterintuitive, I feel, to the mindset you need to be good in sales, because you're always thinking about quota and making money. And I think that desperation might come through a little bit. Like for you,
100%.
What's your mindset?
Yeah. And to talk about that. So when I was selling for IBM, it was all about the money, all about the commission. This isn't for everyone. And, other speakers would never say this shit, but like I was a part of a toxic environment. Like at IBM, in my department and my team, it was very toxic. Anything went bad, Brandon, you failed. It's because of you. You're a loser. You're a piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. It was because of me. And anything that went well, I would win this big multi-million-dollar deal. My boss would go to our chief revenue officer and CEO and say, oh, well, we closed that deal because of me. And they would take credit for it. So like it was this, always like blame culture, hate culture, no support, no training, no nothing. And again, this doesn't represent the 100,000 people, people that work for IBM. It was just my division, my unit at that point in time 10 years ago. So when I left, and I was also all in on selling to make commission. So then I left and I sold for Google. Right when I got to Google, I almost got fired first week on the job because I was working a big deal and lost the deal. And I was complaining and blaming my engineers, my sales engineers. And my boss came to me and he's like, Brandon, cut the bullshit, cut that shit out. You lost that deal because of you. You have to assume responsibility. You have to do whatever it takes. You have to step up. Like the team didn't lose it. You lost the deal. You own it. And I told him, I'm like, whoa, I'm not used to this. It wasn't because like I was a bad person. I was just beaten to death by a really bad toxic work culture. Went to Google and sold. So that made me like start to do whatever it takes in more detail, as well as I also learned how to go all in on my customer and not care about the commission. So right when I started to change, I was like, you know what? I want to change these people's lives. I did not, because I only made, a few $100,000 selling for IBM. And this was when I used to be a millionaire. So like it was a massive pay cut.
Massive.
And then when I sold for Google, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go all in on helping these advertisers reach their goals. So if Viveka was the advertiser at Nike, I was like, if I do not sell Viveka that Google is the best way to maximize your revenue, your cost per click, your cost per acquisition, your ROI, your ROAS.
Yeah.
And you go with Bing, or you go with Yahoo, or you go with Amazon or whatever, then you will not generate the sales results. You will not generate the income. You will not generate the revenue. You will lose your job. Your company will go out of business. You will live on the streets. And then you and your kids homeless is what I'm responsible for.
Exactly.
And I just had this like all in, whatever it takes mindset to maximize your success no matter what. It was nothing about the commission anymore. And that's when I became a million. I became a millionaire in sales because of that.
Yeah, I love that because you take the focus off of yourself and quota and focus on your buyer and your team. I mean, the health and wealth of your team too. So I guess that's one excellent piece of advice. What else would you recommend to business people, salespeople, and entrepreneurs? Andrea, let me leave the question up. What else would you recommend to business people, entrepreneurs to maximize their success? What other advice do you have?
Yeah. So once you master your mindset, your belief, your habits, and I've developed all of those from just studying the billionaires, the millionaires, my own entrepreneurship, other very successful entrepreneurs. I believe that the second most important thing is the list.
Yeah.
Like you need to know who you need to sell to. You need to pick a niche and get rich. You need to know your ideal customer.
Yes. Niche and get rich. I love that. And I just very quick story. When I first started my previous business, LinkedIn to Business, I'm like, I'm going to be a social selling purist. I'm only going to use, well, it wasn't called social selling then, but I'm only going to use social media. And man, did I struggle for 5 years until I went, you know what? I need a list. So I'm 100% with you. Okay, keep talking.
Yeah. No, well, just like the universe is so big. And if you're waking up every day and you don't have the list of everyone that you need to sell to, and this epiphany hit me when I was selling for Google, all of my peers and even my competitors at other search engines, they would just like wake up and then randomly start researching people to sell to. And it was like a off the cuff thing. And there was no niche strategy. And I'm like, man, I'm going to find 10,000 people in this one industry, in this one employee size who have this pain, these goals, these value propositions, responsibilities. I'm going to write my messaging to that list.
Yeah.
And I figured out a way to automate building the list. Like to sell anything to anyone and anywhere, you need to have the list in their emails and phone numbers and insights. Yep. That would be my secret number 2. You got to find the list, build the list. And of course, if you need any help with that, you can join Seamless.AI for free. We've got emails and cell phones for everyone in the world.
I love that. Yeah. So that's how Seamless can help your team and company with revenue.
Yep. And then I would say, if you want a secret, so once you got the mindset and the list, and like the list is you really want to go contact niche.
Yes.
I like niche. I feel like niche is a hard word to say.
I'm Canadian, so it's niche for me, but I know it's niche. And niche rhymes with rich.
Yeah, like we can niche and get rich. Yeah, it's easier to say that little, whatever, a Mad Lib thing.
But it's so true. I mean, that's one of the things when I first started teaching and training on LinkedIn, which is obviously my niche or niche. Everyone was trying to be everything for everybody. And it's like, if you try to be everything for everybody, you're not going to sell anyone. You have to really focus on who your niche, who your buyer persona is, and speak to them. And don't worry about the other, 729 million people on LinkedIn. If you can reach that 100,000 or 10,000 or 1,000 people or 100 people who are going to buy from you, you're going to be way more successful than trying to be everything to everyone. Okay, talk.
Yeah, and I really look at it as when I'm coaching my team, at Seamless, I say, look, if I drop you on an island and we burn the boats, Tony Robbins is one of my mentors, and he's like, you got to go all out, you got to burn the boats, you got to take the island. Like, there's no plan B. So when I'm coaching my team on that, and also when it comes to ideal customer personas and picking a niche to get rich, I'm like, look, it's like I drop you on an island, you're starving, you haven't eaten in a month, and you got to catch some fish on this deserted island. If you try to catch 10 fish at once, you catch no fish and you starve to death and you die. If I drop you in the woods because I put you on the show Naked and Afraid, I don't know why I'm doing this, You're on Naked and Afraid. You need to eat. And you try to catch 2 or 3 rabbits at once, you're going to catch no rabbits because you can't catch multiple things at once. So when you're thinking about contact lists and company lists, I recommend picking one persona. Like, not, hey, I'm going to sell to VPs. I'm going to sell to directors. I'm going to sell to the managers of IT, of marketing, of sales all together on one list. It's like sell to one seniority, one title, and then on the company side, one industry, one employee size, one revenue size. So that way, secret number 3, once you got the right mindset, I'm going to do whatever it takes because I've got the habit to transform my life. Then you've got the list. Then it's all about the scripts. And everyone says you have to you got to do all these personalized messages forever, right? And I believe personalization is critical. But when you've got the niche list and you've got the whatever it takes mindset, you could write your scripts for mass personalization at scale.
And we have a tool for that.
Exactly. So you got to write out all these scripts, right? So the hey Viveka, love what you're doing at Vengreso. Your company is amazing. By the way, I help social media LinkedIn training companies take their training content online, on video, on mobile, whatever you sell, right? You can really super niche the scripts, and then you got to have a script automation platform like the Vengreso. You guys created one, right? You invented this new script platform.
It's an auto text expander, but once you've got your scripts, you can put your scripts inside there, and then it's a couple and the nice thing, right? Yeah. It's like auto text expander on steroids. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So that's the third secret is you gotta write your scripts for mass personalization at scale. The only way to do that is to have the list and for it to be a super niche. And then the fourth thing is activity. And the fourth secret really goes back to whatever it takes. When I hire people, I hire people for positivity, coachability, and the ability to do whatever it takes.
I love it. Who cares what their background is? Positivity.
No college degree. I've actually hired interns that have made more money than full-time people and then quit college and go full-time at Seamless.
Yeah.
And they're making so much money. I've got this one guy, Drew, who was in the engineering school, interned for sales, did so well. He's like, man, I don't want to finish my engineering school for the next year. I'm like, look, I've got my MBA and my undergrad and built multiple companies. And I think having my college degree helped, but I don't think it's necessary for sales. And he told his parents, I'm going full-time on Seamless. And we hired him instantly. So you don't need a college degree. You need to be able to do whatever it takes in the activity. So secret number 4 is doing all of the sales activity. Waking up every day, hitting that list, using the scripts, making the hundreds of calls, emails, the LinkedIn social messages, the custom videos on your iPhone, to prospect.
Right, exactly.
So much activity has to go out every single day. And Viveka, we were just talking about 75 hard.
Yeah.
But pre-show.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. You guys weren't on it. And I was complaining. I was making excuses to Viveka. I'm like, man, I want to do it, but I don't want to do the twice-a-day workouts with no days off. That sounds terrible. That's me running away from doing whatever it takes.
That's right.
Because
and that's the mindset you need in sales and in 75 hard. That's the mindset to complete. Because how many, well, probably not you, but for the women and other folks on the call, how many diets have you been on and off and eating plans? I'm going to try this.
No, me. I'm having this problem right now. After Christmas and New Year's, I'm 10 pounds over what I typically am. And I'm like, it's because I'm not following the plan. I'm not doing the activity. I'm not weighing myself.
You're not doing whatever it takes.
Yeah, I'm not doing whatever it takes there. Yeah. So, it's the same with sales. Setting a target that's really big, and we talk about this in the book. You got to set this massive target, and then no matter whatever it takes, doing the activity, the LinkedIn messages, the social selling, the emails, the multi-channel approach to book the appointments and close the sales. I've got a very small team of SDRs and AEs, and they booked 450 appointments in 24 hours using these 4 secrets that we were sharing with you. You know, they had the list with Seamless, they had the scripts, and then they did the activity and the mindset.
Yeah.
And like that's life changing, and that's how we were able to, you know, increase our revenue by 3 to 4x, multiple 8 figures during a pandemic this past year.
Yeah.
And the reason I talk about that is because I want all of you who are watching and tuning in right now to be able to do the same.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, sales isn't rocket science. Drew knows it's not engineering, right? But it is. It's you've got, well, first of all, kudos to Drew, because, you know, some engineers have a hard time communicating, and communication, I think, is another strong key to success in selling, and especially in remote and virtual selling, which we're all doing, because you don't get that one-on-one meeting anymore. You don't get those site visits. You don't get the conferences or the trade shows. And so the personality that comes, if you have a personality, the personality that comes with you when you meet people face to face, you've got to find a way to replicate that online. And you can't let fear of video, fear of Zoom, fear of StreamYard, fear of OneMob, fear of, you know, whatever hold you back. You have to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, 100%. And to increase sales remote, you know, just to talk about some secrets there. We shut down the office, like just like we wrote this book the day after COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I just wrote it 5 to 7 a.m. 5 day. I was like, I'm going to write 5 pages a day for every day for a full month. And I knocked it out in 22 days just because it just, you know, I've just learned so much over the past year and a half of building these different companies and failing and succeeding and then selling $100 million in sales. It was just really easy to write this book.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things for remote, we had an emergency 2-hour meeting.
Yeah.
We told everyone we're going to have to do 5x the amount of work just to generate the same results that we generated before the pandemic.
Right.
And we got everyone along around the goal setting of like, it's going to be 3 to 5x more work. It's going to be 3 to 5x more failure. It's going to be 3 to 5x more problems, more challenges. And we just got to embrace the pain.
Yeah.
You know, one of the big things is like, to grow, you need to go through shit you don't want to go through.
Yep.
Like, I
don't want to work out twice a day and drink 100 ounces of water.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to eat this salad that's getting delivered here in freaking 30 minutes, but I'm going to do it. And, you know, Dana, one of our marketing geniuses, she's like, she's on the thing. She eats the salad every day. She boxes. She'll whoop my ass. She'll whoop anyone's ass. She's like a professional boxer. So she's so good at being consistent no matter what. And you got to do the same. But when it came to remote selling, not to get off on a tangent, what we did was we just got everyone, here are the habits and the things you need to leverage to be successful. And then also what we did was stand up every day with the team. So we have 2 or 3 daily stand-ups for 30 minutes with the whole team via video in the morning and in the afternoon. Everyone's live on video. We also have like 1 million Slack channels. Everyone's just like super engaged in Slack 24/7. We've got our daily stand-ups.
Yep.
We're interacting. We're having fun. We're sharing strategies. We're supporting each other.
Love
and
it.
then we're also always training and role playing and practicing. And that's a critical way. Every day you need to role play, and every day you need to practice, strategies, sales objections, everything. So that way you stay engaged in this remote environment.
So I want to talk about those 2 things a little bit more too. Talk about going through the pain, because let's face it, our culture wants to be comfortable. And I think that's why so many salespeople fail because, I mean, how many people got a participation award, right? And I'm sorry, I think that's killing our culture, quite frankly. Everyone wants it easy. So those people who are willing to go through the crap, who are willing to get no's, like our friend Andrea Wallace, go for no, right? Who are willing to talk a little bit more about how do you build up that thick skin to all the no's, all the rejection?
Yeah. I think you have to reset everyone.
Yeah.
So like anyone that comes in to work with me or is in my network, they know that if you don't help me accomplish my goals, or make me better, I will get you out of my network.
Yeah.
And that's, but it's reciprocal.
Yes.
So if I'm not doing whatever it takes to help you or make you better, I believe great leadership is someone that inspires you to do more than what you believe you can do or have inside of you.
Yeah.
So like every day I'm trying to inspire my team, my network, anyone I know that they can do way more than what they think that they can accomplish.
Yeah.
And then I demand that from my team. I want them to be pushing me. I want to be pushing them. We operate as 100% meritocracy. We don't care about religion, race, background, sex. Everyone is based on 100% meritocracy. And I think that's why we won #1 places to work is like, here are our core values. This is why, we do what we do. And people get tired of being pushed. Like a lot of people get exhausted. Like, oh, we hit this multiple 8-figure, revenue number. And now I'm pushing us to go for 100 million. And it's a big multiple of where I'm at right now. But it's like, dude, if I could, why do 8 figures when we should go build a 9-figure company that's worth $1 billion? And then when we get to 9 figures, we should build a 10-figure company. And like, you just always want to just be pushing each other. And I think you got to be around people that believe in being inspired and never be happy with the journey of where you want to go, but never be satisfied. Never be satisfied. People that are satisfied with where we're at right now, we're fucked. We're totally screwed.
Does that sound familiar, Mario Martinez? He's our CEO and same mindset, push. It's like, yay, we made quota. Okay, we're going to triple it. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about like, first off, your quota is like a bare minimum that someone thinks that you could do based on math. It's like looking at someone else and being like, oh, they did that much. I'm going to try to do what they did. You already infinitely limit your success and your potential. I talk about this in the Whatever It Takes book. Don't look at other people. Don't look at quotas. Like set a massively large target and then do whatever it takes to hit that annual target. And you got to reverse engineer. There's 265 sales days in a year. So set a massive target, reverse engineer, divide that by 265. That will give you the daily activity required no matter what. And then you just do whatever it takes to hit that target. And that way you have unlimited potential. You're not limited by what I've accomplished or what Stan has accomplished or what Mario has accomplished. You can do anything.
Right. I love that. And we only have like 2 minutes left. And I wanted you to talk a little bit more about the practice that you do to get your folks ready and the training. And so if you have a minute and then 1 more minute to tell us anything else we need.
So luckily, I wrote like over 10,000 pages when I was selling for Google, IBM, and then when I started Seamless. So I wrote books upon books of sales scripts, cold calling scripts, email scripts, social calling scripts. I'm not interested, no budget, it's too expensive. I already worked with some, send me more information. What's your guarantee? I'm not interested, already, whatever, it's too expensive, you name it. So when, I think we lost the screen thing, but what happens is I've got all these scripts and then I just turn them into different books. And then what I did was I gave these books to my team and then we created training on demand to coach our team. So we give them all of these books, we give them all of these courses, then we do daily training. And like business owners or CEOs or sales leaders, like I assume responsibility for all my success and all my failure. I assume responsibility of my failure of my team. So if my team is struggling in any area of the business, it's because of me and our team did not deliver the right training, coaching, support, effort there. So we just created a ton of online courses, a ton of books, a ton of scripts, a ton of real-time live coaching, a ton of Slack channels to support the coaching. And it takes a shitload of work. It's like years and years of work to build a world-class sales organization. But start small and then that shit pays dividends. It's a multiplier effect. That's what we did to train our remote company and then multiply their success.
Yeah, absolutely. Mario's saying maybe our growth should not be 300, it should be 100. Oh, 1,000%.
I'm digging it. I think Mario, my target's like, right around there, 400%. 300%, but I should go for $1 billion this year.
I love it. I love it. All right. We have 1 minute left. Is there anything more that you want to share with our audience? Let's throw the Seamless link up there again. Let's throw Brandon's connection. Everyone should connect with him. He's super, super active on social. He will answer your questions. Buy his book because I'm in it. No, not just because of that. It's really a fantastic book. Like I was telling Brandon, one of the requirements of 75 Hard is you have to read for 10 pages a day. So I can get through 1 or 2 of the folks that he has in the book. So yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would just say, look, we know 2020 may have been hard for many of you. 2021 is our year. 2021 is going to be epic. Make sure you've got the right mindset. Make sure you've got the right sales technologies, like the sales list with Seamless, like the scripts with Vengreso's new script platform automation. And then you put in the activity and you do the work. We were able to survive, thrive, triple headcount, increase revenue 400, 500% this past year because we did all of the secrets that I just shared with you in the episode. So watch this episode, apply it, leave this, video and go into action, because without action and doing whatever it takes, you're going to have another year like last year. Every day and every month you should be improving. And if you're not, you got to audit yourself and figure out what's holding you back.
100%. That was Brandon Bornancin with Seamless.AI. Thank you so much for being on today's call. We've got Joanne Black in 2 weeks. We're going to every other week schedule. So we got Joanne Black in 2 weeks to talk about referrals and why they're so important. Brandon, you rock. You're awesome. Thank you so much. We'll get into the timelines and answer any questions that might be in there. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in a few weeks. See you later, everybody.